100 acres just outside town. No neighbors. No noise. Just trees, dirt roads, and a single private gate with my name on the deed and the lock. I lived overseas most of the year, but I paid taxes on that land every single time they were due. So when my cousin called me and said, "Hey, are you selling your property?" I laughed. I wasn't laughing 5 minutes later. He sent me photos. Bulldozers. Foundations. Streets with fresh asphalt. A massive sign at the entrance that read, Willow Creek Estates, a private HOA community. I booked the next flight home. By the time I arrived, there were already houses standing. Not one or two. Entire rows. Mailboxes. Sidewalks. A sales office. And at the center of it all stood a woman in a blazer, heels clicking on pavement that shouldn't have existed. She introduced herself as the HOA president. "Let's call her Karen." I told her calmly, "You're building on my land." She smiled. Not nervous. Not surprised. Amused. "No," she said, waving a manicured hand. "This land belongs to the HOA. We've already sold 22 homes." I told her I had the deed in my car. She logged. Then she called the cops. When the officer arrived, Karen spoke first. Loud. Confident. She claimed I was harassing her workers and disrupting a legal development. I handed the officer my deed, survey maps, tax records, and a 15-year paper trail. Karen crossed her arms. The officer went quiet. He made a call. Karen's smile faded just a little. The officer finally said, "Ma'am, this land is privately owned." By him. She snapped, "That's impossible." But it wasn't. The officer told her to stop construction immediately. She didn't. Instead, she doubled down. Over the next 3 months, she rushed construction like her life depended on it. 36 houses went up. Families moved in. Kids played in yards that legally didn't exist. The HOA sent me letters telling me I was trespassing. I said nothing. I waited. On a quiet Monday morning, I drove out to my property with a locksmith. We replaced the old gate lock with a reinforced steel one. Private property. No access without owner permission. Then I made a few phone calls. The sheriff arrived first. Then county officials. Then a lawyer with a very thick folder. By noon, the main road into Willow Creek Estates was closed. People panicked. Cars couldn't leave. Contractors couldn't enter. School bees turned around. Karen showed up screaming, demanding the gate be opened immediately. The sheriff ignored her. Instead, he asked her for her development permits. She didn't have valid ones. Then he asked for proof of land ownership. She had none. That afternoon, Satrish eviction notices were served, not to the homeowners, but to the HOA and its officers. Construction loans were frozen. Banks got involved. Investigators started asking questions about forged approvals and falsified records. Karen tried to blame everyone else. The county didn't care. The families were heartbroken, and I genuinely felt for them. They were victims too. But legally, those houses were built on stolen land. Within weeks, the HOA collapsed. Karen resigned before charges were filed. The development sign was removed. The roads reverted to dirt. The houses were eventually bought legally, from me, at a fraction of what Karen had sold them for. As for the gate, it's still there. Locked. And every time I drive past that land, I remember her smile when she said, "You don't own this land." She was very confident. She was also very wrong.